Hi dolls, it's Shanda. How are you? And welcome to Shanda Says. Hope you're enjoying your weekend. I was not here during the week, but I'm here right now. And tonight's video is called Water for Elephants. Now, if you visited me last week, you know that I wanted to discuss this topic because I believe that many of us go through this. Now, you know how I am with my questions, but how many of you are in families that consistently, or even yourself, consistently ignore the obvious or consistently ignore things or people that need to be addressed? You do it, you don't do it out of fear. You don't do it out of fear of rejection. You don't do it because you feel it's not your place. But there are many of us that live with elephants in our room. I want to talk family. Now, again, I'm going to use myself. I come from a mother and a father that are were very, very vocal people. My mom was a person that very strong-willed, very strong-minded woman. You never had to guess what was on my mom's mind. My father was the same way. Very, very kind of militant way about him, almost like a Black Panther. So I grew up with this consciousness and this ability to communicate because my parents fostered that in us. So to this day, as a woman, especially as a matured woman, I don't have a problem confronting an issue, and I don't have a problem saying how I feel. Now, I will say that that comes with maturity, and it's also been ingrained in me. But what if you come from a family that doesn't talk about issues, that ignores issues, that does not address anything? I, me and my husband are very different in that sense. My husband is a person to hold things in. He's a person that not normally wants to upset the status quo. Me, I'm very passionate. If something is bothering me, if something doesn't feel right to me, if something doesn't gel with me, Shanda is on it and Shanda is speaking about it. But I thought it very necessary to do this vlog because so many of us live a life of watering our elephants, meaning we're adding to the pink elephant in the room. We're making it comfortable. We're making it where he can just hang out and, be among family and friends. The reality is that when we become adults, and when I say adults, I mean a maturity level. There's many of us that through life experience, even though we're young in age, our experiences have pushed us into adulthood. So I don't mean necessarily an age. I meant a maturity level in through life experience. With that being said, a lot of us have been hurt, and a lot of us have been walked on and mistreated. So how do you get to a place of addressing the elephant in the room, and it's been your whole life not to? You've seen your mother not do it. You've seen your father not do it. You've seen your family ignore obvious things that are detrimental, maybe not only to you, but to the family as a whole, excuse me. So how do you get that voice? How do you address it? How do you learn to address people that have done you wrong? For one, you got to come from a place of being in the right. And when I say that, whenever you address an issue, you have to know in your heart, mind, body, and soul that you feel right and you feel just in this issue that you need to address. If someone has hurt you, and you may say, oh, I'm not going to talk about it, I don't want no problems. Or you could be the person that's like, no, I'm going to call you and I'm going to address this issue. But how do you get there? How do you get to a place of being able to speak up? A lot of us don't know how to put ourselves first. There's a saying that my mom used to have about putting ourselves on a pedestal because no one else really will. We have to learn to be able to put ourselves on the pedestal, and once you're on that pedestal, you become like Paul Revere and you're shouting out to the world. Being able to address elephants in the room is someone that is confident, someone that is not afraid to speak truth and not afraid to spread truth. Again, elephants in our room can come can go as far back as family. You lived in a family that did not address issues. Maybe there's issues of child molestation. Maybe there's issues of domestic violence. Maybe there's just issues of disrespect. When you grow up in a house with these issues, you may learn to keep quiet because you know what? Mommy's not addressing it. Daddy's not addressing it. So you may either be one or the other. You may be a person that's like, no, 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 I'm not having that. I'm not going through that. I went through that as a child. Or you may, oftentimes as children, we learn what we live. And as parents, it's one thing to tell your children what you don't want them to do, but they have to see you act in what you say. Not being able to address an issue is almost like a form of slavery to yourself. You have to be able to stand up for yourself. Even with the strongest bond of people that you love, be it a sister, a brother, mother, anybody. Because the reality is we have one life. We have one life. We have one body. We have one mind. And when you become a matured person, you learn to have a voice. You will have enough experiences, enough negativity, and enough people walking all over you that you've had enough. That you know whatever issue is not feeling right, whatever issue is not a condoned issue, you have the ability to stand up and say, no, 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 no. That's not happening. There have been many instances in my life, and I'll be honest with you, that I didn't care for. But one thing about Shanda is I can sit down with you, man to woman or woman to woman, and explain my feelings to you. Now, if you get all crazy and stuff, whatever. But I think as mature people, we can get down and disagree. But the reality is people have to treat me with respect because ultimately I respect myself. I'm not going to have anybody disrespect me. And when you watch my videos, I want you to get to a place there. I want you to get there. Did that happen for me overnight? No. You know, again, I grew up with a mom that, you know, my mom was no joke. And anyone that watches my video, be it family or friends that know my mother, that knew my mom, they know that I come from a very strong woman. My sisters are just like me. They address issues. We are passionate people. I thank my parents for that because I'm able to look people in their face, in their eye, and I'm able to carry myself in a way that I don't water any elephants. I don't have elephants in my room. And when you become a matured person, you will learn that addressing issues, speaking up for a cause or something that you believe in, if someone is hurting you, if someone is disrespecting you, whoever it is, even if it's your child, you will learn to speak up for yourself because ultimately, and I say this all the time, we leave in a box. And normally when we leave, it's just us in there. Family, friends, who's ever in our circle doesn't give them a ticket to walk all over us. So if there is something in your life that you're not addressing and you feel like you need to, is it easy for me to sit here and say, address this issue? I want you to come to a place of strength emotionally and mentally to get to that place. It doesn't always happen overnight because if your life has always been not to address issues, you're just not going to be able to do that. But if you have to keep playing repeat on this video, I want you to do that. Not being able and not addressing an issue is like me ending this video and doing this video and we don't talk about this wig on my head. Because as soon as you put this video on, you were like, what in the heck? Or what the hell does Shanda have on her head? Me not addressing it is watering the elephant? Something to think about. I want to know your comments. Comments are important to me. I want to know what your thoughts are. Are you living with pink elephants? Are you feeding the elephant in the room? Are you watering the elephant in your room? Let me know. I want to know how you guys feel about it. Follow me on Twitter at Shanda Says and email me, shandasays1@gmail.com, and we'll talk. Bye-bye.